Hello and welcome back to Cosmic Nebula. So as you can see from this video, it is another voiceover. And so you might be thinking, Cosmic Nebula, when are you going to be on camera again? And I will be very soon. The reason is, funnily enough, I am currently on my period and I'm not putting on a polyester costume when I have cramps. Like, I'm not doing it. Right? So this is what you get. And so this video popped up in my recommended I think a month or two ago. And so I saved it to my videos to react to. I haven't had time, so now I have time. And so basically, this man here with the microphone, he goes around to University of Pennsylvania and he asks students, can men menstruate? And then I guess he asks regular people who aren't traditionally educated, right? Their opinions. And let's watch how stupid the world has become. Let's watch together.
Any men who have a uterus could menstruate.
A man has XY, you're incorrect. Because we're talking about anatomy, biology. Like, if you were to have surgery, they need to know what sex you are.
The kid go to school, what he's going to believe? What they tell him. He doesn't know what is a mortgage. He doesn't know what is interest rate. After he went to college again, he doesn't know nothing about life. But he knows that a man can get pregnant, yeah.
What's going on, everyone? James Klug here. Today I'm in Philadelphia, and we're going to be asking college students if men can menstruate, and then we're going to ask the same question to average people on the street. This should be pretty interesting. Let's go talk to some people. Can men menstruate?
I mean, I don't know. It's a scary question.
Look at it. Look how afraid people are to just give their opinion in public on camera.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I would say yes. No.
No. What do you think?
No.
Yeah. I'd say so.
We're not going to answer the question.
Why is that?
I feel like you're trying for us to say something controversial, but we're not going to get.
Why would fact be controversial? Why would fact be controversial? If I say that the sky is blue or that car across the street is red, and that we are all going to die one day, is that controversial? I don't understand.
Is it okay? So it's a controversial
1 +
question.
1 is 2.
Can men menstruate?
Can men what?
No. 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 What the man, we don't think like that. And there's only two genders.
I don't think so, no.
Not that we're aware of.
No, not that I'm aware of. Correct. I don't think it's possible. No, not that I know of.
No.
Yes.
No?
Anyone have an answer? I don't know.
I'm not.
Look how this video, when I watched it the first time, I just found it so surprising just how human beings are. So this is why I don't generally like people as just as a species. Like, I don't like people. I really don't. And I don't like them not just because people will be like, oh, people in the 21st century and in 2023 people are crazy, and it's like, nah, go back and look at the Holocaust, right? Go back and look at history for hundreds of years, thousands of years, and you will see that human beings have been malleable enough to be convinced into any fucking thing. And that is something I do not like. As a person who can't be convinced into stuff, I don't understand what it feels like to be a person who can hear another person's point of view and know that it makes no goddamn sense, right? Because I have the mental faculties to come to that conclusion, and then be like, maybe I should just go along with it just to go along with it, though. And I feel like that's what these people are doing. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grown ass men, right? Maybe their brains are not 100% developed because they're probably not past 25 yet, but they are old enough to know that nature decided, right? We didn't decide. We don't get to decide. Nature decided that it would give one part of our species certain sexual organs that could incubate a baby, and it would give another part of our species sexual organs that could impregnate another person of that species, right? And so when people say things like men and women, the reality is those are just sounds that we make to distinguish two different types of things, right? Right? We know that when we say the word stone and we say the word tree, we know we just made up these sounds to distinguish those two items. We all collectively agreed that these are the words we are all going to refer to as a stone and a tree, right? And so when we say man and we say woman, we are simply referring to a person that generally has certain parts that nature gave them. We don't get to decide what parts we have and what those parts do, right? Because we don't get to override biology. But it just amazes me that human beings have gotten to the point where they have been so, now I don't even want to say get to the point where they've been beaten down, because this is a human condition. It's always been a human condition. And I think this is the first time in history that we actually get it in 4K constantly. It's disgusting to me. I wouldn't talk to any of these people. I can't stand people like this. Too afraid to having a fucking opinion. Go be agreeable somewhere else.
No. What do you guys say? You guys are struggling with this one?
Ellie, you answer this question?
Can men menstruate? She says she doesn't know.
I'll think about it. We'll be back.
Okay.
Goofy. Goofy. I don't like people who, I don't want to have an opinion. I would rather be around a person who had an opinion I wildly disagree with than with a person who is wishy-washy as fucking doesn't have an opinion. Like, don't come around me. I would rather listen to this. I would rather talk to somebody who's racist, staunchly so, than talk to somebody like this who's wishy-washy. What a fucking bore you are. A bore.
You'll think about it?
I mean, he knows.
Is this a difficult question?
It's a difficult question to answer. Yeah, it's a lot of ambiguity. I think it's
Why is it a
I
difficult
love it. Ambiguity. We have really, I want to say we've reached the dumbest timeline. Obviously, this is not the dumbest timeline because human beings have done this several iterations of the same behavior, right? This is not the first time. This is just the first time we got it recorded in such clarity.
question? He answered it pretty
I don't
quickly.
think there's a lot of clarity, nowadays.
It's a yes or no thing. No.
I would, yeah. What do you think? I think they can. I think men can menstruate. Yeah.
Ridiculous. Look at women trying to allow men into what it is to be a woman. And one thing that I don't understand about transgenders just in general, one thing I don't understand about transgenders is, why can't you be just transgender? Why can't you just be like, listen, I recognize that I am a biological male, but I feel like I was born in the wrong body and I would like to live my life out as dressing like a female. Making all the changes I can make to my physical appearance to present as a female. And I would just like to be left alone. But I do admit that I am indeed biologically male. How come transgenders can't do that? Like, why did we get to the point where men started to believe that they are women, right? You don't get to decide that you're a man. You don't get to decide that you have XY chromosomes, right? When the Y sperm hit the X egg, that is when it was decided for you. You don't have to like it. Life is not fair. That's the way it goes. I don't understand how we jumped the fucking horse and we got to this point where y'all just don't want to deal with biological reality that you cannot control. It's just like, what if one day we just all decided that we're just not gonna die? That's what that is. Pretending that men can menstruate is like pretending like we are all not going to die one day. There's nothing, no matter how hard we believe it, it's going to happen because it's out of our control. I just don't understand, and I don't like it, how many fucking women go along with it. Y'all look like clowns. Every single man or woman that goes along with this bullshit, you are a clown. You don't have to hate people. You don't have to believe that people don't have the right to live their life how they want to live it. But you also are a fool for going along with this just to be agreeable. This is why I don't like agreeable people. I don't like y'all. Don't be around me.
Why is that?
Because I think that some people that have uteruses can identify as men and identify with the gender identity of male.
And why do you say yes?
Because I do,
You did.
and I'm a man. So
No, you don't get to decide. You don't get to decide. You don't get to decide that you're a man. Too bad, right? Too bad, so sad. You can be like, listen, I wish that I was born male, but I wasn't, and I would like to live my life as a person who presents as male. Go ahead. But you do not get to decide whether you are male or female. You don't.
I think they can. I think men are allowed to express their expressions and their emotions if they want to. It's really healthy.
I think they go through mood swings as much as women do. So
What does menstruation have to do with mood swings? That's one possible symptom of menstruating. These are college students and they have no basic damn common sense. No basic common sense. Menstruation is the shedding of the inner lining of the uteral wall. And only people that who are what we refer to as, the term we used to refer to as female, can do that. Only those people can do that. And we have to happen to associate the word woman with female, right? The sounds, right? Every language has their own sound, but basically they all distinguish those two things.
Second time we've gotten that answer. Really quick, do we know what menstruate means or no?
Oh, is that not what I think?
Can men get their periods?
Yeah. I know. Like, oh, you mean biologically?
Yes.
Well, no. Biologically, no.
Okay, well, I'll give him a pass because I don't think English is his first language.
You don't mean physically, you mean like...
yeah, no.
But
more like
her,
just,
she
like,
gets
the
no pass
symptoms.
from me.
Have you ever gotten your period before?
No.
You've never experienced it? I haven't experienced it?
No, I never experienced it that I know of.
I don't want to be involved in this. It's a lot of genders, and men definitely can get period, yeah.
You get pregnant?
Yes, men can get pregnant. I know a guy that got pregnant. And I have a friend that gets period on a regular basis.
I somehow don't
I
believe you.
support the LGBTQ all day long, okay?
I think that men have periods of times that they get in their moods and it's like, oh, okay.
I'd like to hear about this.
That's not what menstruation is. Like, I don't understand. Why are women saying that menstruation is an emotional thing? That's ridiculous. Like, let's stop being ridiculous. Let's stop stereotyping ourselves.
I feel like we do in a way because we have parts of the month where we get very emotional. You know, like we feel like it's our time.
Oh my God.
Like, we should be loved, we should be held, you know, we want to be the one that backs up in the bed, you know, and get held, you know, we don't want to always be the one that has to lay on the back, you know, and stuff like that. So I honestly do feel like men can. I just
That's not what menstruation is, though. Menstruation is literally a biological process. That's like saying women can ejaculate semen. We cannot, because we objectively do not produce semen. Y'all look
like
goofy.
it's not, you know,
that's like saying, well, yeah, women can ejaculate semen because we urinate. Let's stop being ridiculous.
blow up thing how girls have it. I just feel like it's like an internal thing. Like, we get the same feelings that they get, but not the same reaction that they get. Yeah, I heard
Menstruation is not a feeling, nor is it a reaction. It's a biological process. Y'all
about
ridiculous.
that. It's like men go through like this week or something, or like a whole month in the year. So I don't know what it is. I heard about it, where they have like them hormones that act in their body, and it make them a little hormonal like women.
Yeah, I believe they can, because at a certain period of time, right, guys in general, right, goes through emotional drains just like women do when they're on the period. So I feel like they can. They can't bleed or anything like that. No, they can't.
Physically, like getting your period, is that possible or no?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't believe that.
No. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I seen like a TikTok or something.
So
What if he saw a TikTok that told him that human beings have a range of emotions and hormones influence them, and hormones fluctuate as you age, and they fluctuate on a weekly basis in men and women to some degree? Wow, amazing biology.
period, no or yes? Like at physical period?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's the final answer for 1,000.
But like for men, they'll say it'd be like once a year. You know what I'm saying?
Once a year,
Like-
your homie gets his panties in a bunch, and
Yeah, like I mean, I guess that's what they said.
can they physically have a period or no?
No.
You guys, I was just, we were talking to psychology.
It amazes me how many of these people don't know what menstruation actually means. He had to explain to them, like, do they actually bleed? And they were like, oh, no. Can they menstruate? Yeah, they can get emotional. Yeah, menstruation and emotional are not the same thing. I don't understand. Do we not know what basic words mean? Like, I don't understand why everybody got so stupid all of a sudden.
College students, some of the college students were telling me, absolutely. Why are people telling me yes to that question? It seems like
Delusional. They're delusional.
You got me.
It's science, bro. Men can't menstruate.
Period how? How do men get their period?
They can't.
Exactly.
Like, we can get our menstruals, like actually bleed.
yeah.
I don't think y'all can.
Where do we bleed from?
Like,
It's not a matter of I don't think. It's a matter of fact. Men cannot. People with penises cannot. XY chromosomes cannot. It's impossible. Even people with chromosomal what is it? People that have like XXY, XYY chromosomes, they cannot. So it's just like anytime there's a Y chromosome introduced, you cannot. Like, it's really not. Nature literally nature made it that way. There's nothing we can do about it. I don't understand.
I want to know, like, where?
I don't know where they would get yes from. I just don't see it happening.
It should, at this point, it's the agreeable Olympics, right? Everybody wants to be seen as being extremely agreeable. I think that social media is mostly the cause, right? Because think about it. Up until the last, I want to say decade, 15 years or so, you could have your own opinion and people could disagree with you, but the only people that could really disagree with you would be the people in your general area when you had that opinion, right? You could go in the corner and be like, I don't agree with gay marriage. And it's like, well, I guess the 20 people that were around you when you were shouting that heard it and they had a disagreement, and that's fine. But it's like nowadays, if you say something, you have literally millions of people ready to jump down your throat. And a lot of people are such cowards that they refuse to stand up for what they believe in. And I would rather be around a person who has a strong opinion and strong convictions that I adamantly disagree with than around some weak-willed, no backbone having fucking agreeable piece of shit. Like, I don't want to be around y'all.
it just doesn't seem biologically possible.
No, it's more of a woman thing.
Where's our exam?
It's not more of a woman thing, it's a woman only
think
thing.
that men can menstruate, something's wrong.
There's like 30 genders now. We don't know. We don't know what's going on right now. Everything's changing so fast. We finding out new stuff every day. So
I don't know. I don't know why would anybody say that unless you're saying that they had well, even then they couldn't. So I'm about to say unless they said they had like a sex change or something like that, but even then you couldn't. So I don't know.
Why are some people saying yes to that?
Expressive individualism.
Because they're dumb?
We're running into people today that are saying absolutely not. Of course they can't.
They're probably not queer, are they? They're probably not queer then.
What does again, I don't understand why when did being gay get conflated with people just not recognizing biological reality? Homosexuality has always existed in nature, right? I do believe that nature makes some people homosexual. Why? Because humans, even though they cannot continue the human species, the vast majority of people are heterosexual, so it's fine. But people like this think like, oh, well, they're not queer, so they don't know that a man can be a woman and a woman can be a man. Has nothing to do with it. And if anything, it makes gay rights look more ridiculous because y'all have added this little tidbit on top of it. And I would imagine that there are a lot of gay people and also trans people who disagree adamantly with this goofy ass bullshit. It's just virtue signaling. You're virtue signaling. You don't care about anything else. You're trying to be as agreeable as possible and trying to get as many pats on the back from these faceless people as you can. Because this kind of person like this, put them in any other situation, like just take them and drop them in any other scenario, and they will, if they stay there long enough, they will go along with whatever rhetoric is being spread in that area as well, right? Because these people are extremely malleable, and I don't trust anybody that's made of clay. I don't trust you.
I didn't ask them.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have a lot of qualms with the idea of being transgender. They want to stay.
Nobody cares. Like, I think that trans people should fight for the right to, like, not be harassed or bothered or discriminated against. Sure, go ahead. But you have officially crossed the line into fucking Delulu land the moment that you think that you and your feelings and your desires and your wants can override biological reality. And to be perfectly honest, let me say this. To be perfectly honest, I don't believe that a lot of these people even think that, first of all, I don't think they possess the delusion that they are female. First and foremost, I don't think they have that delusion, right? Some of them, sure, some of them probably truly have a mental illness. But a lot of them, I think that they get off on the power trip of forcing other people to go along with it, right? They love the power that gives them to be like, well, you have to say this really stupid thing that makes no sense. And I'm the person that had the power to make you do it. I think that it's a big power trip for a lot of these people. And you see this happen when they encounter a person that refuses to back down, right? Because they don't just say, okay, whatever, you're entitled to your opinion. It's like they can't tolerate that you refuse to bend to their will, right? Even though they recognize intellectually that you have the right to have your own opinion and your own freedom of expression, right? And instead of respecting that, they want you to bow down to what they think, and they feel like they have to be the ones, the arbiter, basically, of what other people are allowed to think, and that power is what they feed off of. I don't believe that a lot of these people actually think they are female. I don't believe that.
Stick to a very conservative and traditional view of.
I just find it so bizarre that these people have to go to such lengths to try and change the way that other people think. And I think that that's their main goal. And you know what I really want to see? I want to see in the next 10 years, how many of these people actually still believe that bullshit? One thing that I'm really happy about is that all of this is being recorded. And all of this is being uploaded online. All of these people who said all of this shit, the internet is keeping record. So in 5-10 years time, when all of these people, when it's not cool or trendy anymore to say this dumb shit, all of these people are beholden to all the dumb shit they said on social media.
Ignorance or hate, I don't know which.
Okay.
If a woman becomes trans, like a trans man, then yes, they can menstruate.
But wouldn't you have, even if you become a trans man, you are still a woman. There's nothing you can do about that. There's nothing. Why do y'all hate logic, right? Why do you hate logic? If I put on a costume of any animal, pick an animal, do I become that animal? Of course not. I can live with that animal the rest of my entire life. I simply do not become that animal because I do not have the genetic makeup of that animal. Why? Because nature made it that fucking way. I am Homo sapien. That's the way that it is. There's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. And I'm so sick of this idea that you can. You don't have any control over your physical body. Get over it. Get over it.
Right? I mean, yeah. If you're considering
a woman transitions
to being a man.
to looking like a man.
Looking like a man.
Does that make them a man?
I mean,
Right.
because they identify as
Makes
a man.
sense.
I'm like not. I'm still
Right.
learning about like
We're
all
not
the terms and
scientists.
stuff.
So queer men can menstruate?
Any men who have a uterus could.
You see that she just doesn't think about it logically. She just skipped over the logic part. She was like, "Nyah," and she just jumped over the logic part
Menstruate.
and just started repeating back what she always repeats. It's
Sorry,
ridiculous.
Be so rude. I apologize. Anatomy, biology. Like if you were to have surgery, they need to know what sex you are. So
Exactly.
women, that's like they are.
You see? When confronted, instead of standing there and debating her point of view, which if you truly fucking believed it, you would stand there and debate it, right? Guess what I've never seen? I've never seen one of those crazy, like, on the corner Christian preachers run away from a debate. That's what I've never seen, right? I've never seen a staunch conservative run away from a debate. But you saw this girl who absolutely apparently believes in this the moment she is confronted with somebody who disagrees with her and is willing to explain why they disagree. And this woman is not being rude. She immediately walks away. Immediately.
This is very serious what's going on in America.
Right.
Because
she had time. I see her light is green, but she had time. Surely she was standing there talking to this man for a few minutes. This light turned several times. She runs away.
Indoctrinating students. They're indoctrinating students to go against their parents. And this is Marxism. This is socialism. I'm very familiar with it.
Again, this idea of indoctrination. I went through a period where I spent a long time just like learning about the Holocaust. Like I got obsessed with learning about the Holocaust. And so as I learned about the Holocaust like everybody else, we were always taught that like Hitler is the reason the Holocaust happened and Hitler killed 6 million Jews. And it's just like Hitler was one person. In 2023, right, you have the power to kill 6 million. One person could technically kill 6 million people, right? A nuclear bomb could do it. But the reality is that millions of people co-opted Hitler, right? So either human beings have the capacity to be responsible for themselves or they don't, right? I don't believe in this idea that you can be indoctrinated into anything unless there exists the case that human beings, a lot of human beings at least, fundamentally lack the ability to mentally process what is right or wrong, and they can be easily influenced by outside sources. And I mean that to mean excessively, right? So when I learned about the Holocaust, one thing that I kept thinking was, how the fuck did so many of y'all go along with this bullshit? I saw a documentary, I think a few weeks ago on Netflix, and it was about like the Gestapo, the guards at like the concentration camps, and the people who were in charge of and who participated in the killing squads. Yeah, they were not threatened or punished and forced to participate in that. They weren't at all. Like, if you didn't want to participate, yeah, you were kind of excluded and, like, maybe laughed at, but that was, like, the biggest punishment. They were not forced to do it, and yet they did it. So it's like, what does that say about the human being then, right? So she is sitting here saying, like, college students are being indoctrinated. What does that say about them as an individual? Because you ain't indoctrinating me into shit. You're not indoctrinating me into it. I don't worry that I can be seduced into a certain way of thinking. If it doesn't make sense, I'm not going along with it. I don't care how many people go along with it. And so when I meet people that can be convinced into stuff like this, first of all, I pity you. And second of all, I don't like you. And for me, that's like a big litmus test for me. I strictly don't like anybody that can be seduced or convinced or persuaded into, schools of thought, and that can be any kind of thought. Like, it can be my opinion. If you listen to this video and you're like, oh, Cosmic Nebula, I go along with everything you say, blah, blah, without, like, interjecting what you really think and just taking my point of view as that a point of view, then I don't respect you. Makes no sense to me.
And I want everybody to educate themselves.
Like, if you're a woman that says you're a man, does that make you actually a man or no? What are your thoughts?
I don't believe that. No, it doesn't. If you're a woman and you're saying that you're a man, you still have the woman's, like, the emotions of a female. You still have the woman's private area. So you're not a man. You just want to be a man.
They believe that if a woman says she's a guy, now men can menstruate.
No. You're still biologically a woman at the end of the day. You can be classified as all that you want, but you're still biologically a woman. So, no, you can't.
People think of a lot of crazy stuff, and that's crazy to me.
Right.
Everybody going based on what they learned and what they know over time, the information they were fed. Feel me?
You know, a lot of these students seem to be learning this when it comes to gender theory in classrooms, and that's oftentimes why we hear responses like that. You do not subscribe to that ideology or belief system that men can menstruate, correct?
No, because a man has different chromosomes, and you need to have ovaries to have a menstrual cycle. So if you don't have ovaries, fallopian tubes, vagina, you're not going to menstruate. Like animals, female animals, they have a menstrual cycle. Male animals do not.
It's a common thing that we're running into today. It's like 50% of the students we're talking
Because all you need to do is go in every university, private schools, and look at the curriculum that they're indoctrinating children with.
They tell whatever they tell you. Don't know what.
I just don't really understand that. Like, I don't know. Like, I wish if somebody is like a psychiatrist, not a psychiatrist, psychologist, a sociologist, like, what is that phenomena? Because I always try to like put myself in other people's shoes to like experience the world the way they experience it. And it's like, I can sit and just read over just the most toxic content and it never indoctrinates me into it. Like, I've been listening to like the Manosphere Red Pill for like 10 years, never been indoctrinated into it. All kinds of point of views, political point of views, never been indoctrinated into either side, right? Doesn't matter what it is. Religion, never been indoctrinated into it. I don't know what it is that other people are so easily pulled into that. Like, I don't know what that mentally feels like, physically feels, psychologically feels like. Like, what is it that people need to believe strongly in, like the Bible or God? Like, I don't know what that feels like. I don't have like that strong attachment to any one way of thinking, and I don't know why so many other people do or why they are so susceptible to it. But it's an experience that I absolutely don't associate with, and I never have.
What to believe? A kid go to school, what he's going to believe? What they tell him. A kid live 12 years, he went to school. He doesn't know what is a mortgage. He doesn't know what is interest rate. He doesn't know what a lease is, you know? But he was in college. After he went to college again, he doesn't know nothing about life. But he knows that a man can get pregnant, yeah.
They have taken positions in government. They have taken positions in schools to bring about their ideology, and it's very radical. It's extreme radicalism. I'll give you an example, because I'm black. One way they can spread this indoctrination is they'll say, well, that's anti-black, or you're being racist. But I know what Marxism is. I know what socialism is. And they will hide it under a guise. Well, we're going to teach first graders about sex. And we're going to do this because this is about equal rights. But it's not about equal rights. Socialist Marxism, they'll see it's right here on these universities. And they started in the private schools. And now they're going to the charter schools. And they're going to the public schools. And they're teaching, like in socialist countries, to be spies. So we spy on each other. Don't tell your parents. Trust the teachers. Don't trust your parents. Your parents have to take care of you. Your parents should be your support system.
Did they explain why they thought it was?
So what a lot of people think is it'll be along the lines of this. The first thing
that black woman was right. She's absolutely right. And I pity humanity that human beings, millions of human beings are so easily led into this. This is why I don't like people. Like, tell me, people. I had an argument with somebody. Actually, I'm banned on Reddit right now for like 4 more days because I dared to respond to a thread that said, I think it was about like human beings being the worst thing on the planet Earth or something. It's like human beings are the worst thing on the planet. Why the fuck would I ever create more of this, right? Of humanity. Why would I ever create more? I would not be able to live with myself if I created another human being and they turned out to be just this blob of stupid, malleable, easily influenced follower-ass person. Like, I don't understand people have unconditional love for their kids. No. Absolutely not. My love, I feel like, would be hinged on that condition. You must be a fucking independent thinker, completely unable to be penetrated by other people's thoughts, or fuck you. Which is why I don't have any kids. Absolutely not.
that pops up on Google, okay? And this is me searching it. This isn't just some like random fake thing on Facebook, okay? So this is me searching it. It says, can men menstruate? Google at the very top says, having a period is not a feminine thing. People of all genders menstruate, including non-binary people, agender people, and even plenty of men. Facts or nonsense?
Nonsense. It's just the world. That's the world we live in now.
It's nonsense, for sure.
I want everybody to familiarize themselves with science, psychological operations. That's what it is. It's misinformation.
10 years ago, that wouldn't be there because, like, you know,
I feel like I understand young kids kind of being convinced into this because they don't know better. But anybody past the age of like 17, you out of your goddamn rabbit ass mind. And if you know somebody that's like this, who has this attitude like men can be women and men can have periods or whatever, I want y'all to remember this, right? So in a few years when that person's ideology suddenly change again, you can remind them of it, right? Because I'm that kind of person. I'm the kind of person where when you say some stupid shit, I will remind you of that shit 1,000 times over. I will make you choke on it, right? Do not stand in front of me and talk out of the side of your goddamn neck and think that you gonna live that shit down. I will come to your funeral and I will be like, y'all remember when she was back in 2023 when she was 25 years old and she used to believe that men could have periods? She was a goofy ass bitch. I'm that kind of person. I feel like these people need to be held consistently accountable for the behavior they engaged in, right? Just in the case of like the Holocaust and World War II and the Nazis, I used to watch that and I used to wonder, like, when it all came out, what happened and how the Jewish population was essentially desecrated almost completely, right? I think 50% of the Jewish world population was destroyed in a matter of a decade. When all of that came out and it was exposed and World War II finally came to an end and Hitler was killed and Germany fell and blah, 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 I wondered, like, what did regular people have to reconcile with? Like, I know that there's been like a huge cultural fallout for Germany and just in general, but it's just like in the years following the war, like, what did the average German person who know who knew that they co-opted, they helped to participate, even if in some small way, into allowing Hitler into office, into propelling the machine that allowed the Jews to be exterminated, right? And some people participated directly. What reckoning did they have with themselves in those following years? You understand what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if I lived next door to a family who I knew was extremely anti-Semitic, and I know that they like reported Jews, or they were like the ones spitting on them in the streets, and like I was against it, and like the war ended, like what happened between those two people's, like, you know what I'm saying? They when people essentially woke up, right, from that, right, because a lot of these people are going to wake up one day. I wonder what happened, the aftermath of that, because I feel like I'm the kind of person where I'm reminding your ass of that for the rest of your motherfucking life, for the rest of your life. Every time I see you try to talk down to somebody or hold somebody accountable, I'm going to remind you, hey, Agnes, remember that one time where you spit on that Jew during the 1940s? During World War II, remember that? I remember that. Remember that Jewish family you reported? Because I remember that. So don't talk shit about what nobody else is doing, because you that bitch. Remember that? I feel like I'm that kind of person. Like, I'll be in the streets. Yeah. Remember when you used to think that men could get periods? Remember when you used to say that men could come into women's bathrooms? Remember that, Janet? Remember when you used to say that? Remember when you used to try to allow men into female-only spaces? Remember when you did that? I feel like I'm that kind of person. So I don't know anybody that's like this, but if I did, I would hold them accountable for the rest of their fucking life. They never live it the fuck down.
You know, LGBTQ, like, they took over basically, like, everything. So, like, you know,
No, that's true.
bro, like,
No, that's right.
Well, it seems like a conversation of like a scientific conversation, and then there's an ideological
If
conversation.
someone can explain to me scientifically how men menstruate, then I will maybe, but I think that they have periods of times where, like, as far as mood swings go.
psychological periods.
That's not menstruate. She just proving how stupid she is. This is how it's happening. So these two people disagree with the idea that men can have periods, right? Bleed physically. But notice how they are still hazy about what the fuck a menstruate, the word menstruate means. It has a meaning. It has a definition in the dictionary. It means the ability to shed your uterine wall. Stop trying to equate it with emotions. Like, women need to fucking pick. He just interviewed like 10 people on the street that he showed in his video at least. And of the 10 people, 8 of them are conflating menstruation with emotionality. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They grown. They need to stop
But
that.
as far as what goes on with the body, I don't know if it comes out of their armpits or what, but it's not coming out or doing the same thing it does to females.
Right. And I guess if a man were to be, let's say, sorry to be graphic, but like bleeding,
Yeah.
you should probably go to the hospital.
Go to the hospital.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
When you live in your own reality for, I guess, 2 years, and then you step outside of the box, you're still stuck in that reality, unfortunately. I feel like that's what a lot of people are after this pandemic thing of 2019, 2020. And I mean, it's a good idea, but it's not when you're forcing that upon other people, especially when you're thinking logically as well as factually.
So you see it as maybe they're possibly in an echo chamber of an ideology. They subscribe to that ideology. You obviously don't, because...
But that's life. I mean, we all subscribe to some type of ideology. Just don't push it down my throat. I'm not pushing mine down your throat.
We're American. I'm gonna say this right now. I don't care what political party you are. I'm not gonna fight against you because we have a lot of enemies coming against Americans. Instead of being divided, we need to be united. We can think differently. We don't have to agree, but we gotta stop fighting each other. Because now they're in America and they're trying to take us over.
That's the most reasonable person in this whole goddamn video. That woman is the only reasonable person. All these other people, they said women, a lot of them said that men can indeed not have actual bleeding menstruations, but the fact that a lot of those people conflated menstruation with emotionality was way too goddamn many, and I think that also shows just how stupid people are and how people don't have basic education. Like, I feel like I'm not a smart person, not excessively educated, but I feel like a lot of stuff in life is just using your mental faculties to process information. Like, you don't have to read a bunch of books or learn a bunch of facts in order to use your brain to analyze whether or not some shit makes sense. So I want to hear y'all's opinion down below. Not the question, can men menstruate? I want to ask y'all, why the fuck is everybody such a malleable, easily influenced piece of shit? And how is it that, knowing that human beings are like this and historically have been like this since the beginning of time, how is it that y'all go through life liking people? Like, I swear to God, I just don't like people. I don't like most of the people that I come in contact with. Like, even a decent person, I'm just like, right? I feel like I'm so about people. Like, give me something that is staunch, right, and concrete, and a person who, like, has their own opinion and their own fucking values, and that they don't get wishy-washy on, and I can get along with them. Even if I disagree with them adamantly, but I don't want to be around anybody that's really agreeable like that. And I want to know how y'all tolerate it, because I swear to God I can't. And I want to know, for people that get indoctrinated into this stuff, like, how did that happen? Like, how did you allow that to happen? What was the process mentally that had to take place for you to go along with this? And what reckoning did you have with yourself when you finally woke up from that delusion, right? I feel like you cannot go along with ideologies, not just this one specifically, but any crazy ideology, and then come out of it, right? Come out of that haze and still have the idea that you are an intelligent person. That's what I think about it. I think that if you are somebody who allowed yourself to be seduced into any school of thought, any crazy ass school of thought, you have to come to terms with the fact that you yourself cannot be trusted, right, to make ideal decisions for yourself. And you have to live the rest of your life knowing that you are a fool that could easily be seduced into a certain school of thought. And if you're somebody like that, I pity you. And I am so grateful that that is the one disease from which I do not suffer. This has been a Cosmic Nebula video. I will see you in the next one.